Okay, so in the last video, we were looking at the timeline, and we blocked it off. We blocked it off at the sort of the 20th century mark. So in today's video, I want to continue this discussion because there's a few more things that we need to add. So today, again, we're talking about the mechanics of the timeline. Okay? The mechanics of the timeline. So just a quick review. We did talk about the regression, that over 2,000 years, 10%, which is about 200 years. Similarly, I talked about the pandemic. The pandemic, right? The 2020 pandemic. The 2020 pandemic started in 2020, it's gone on now for 16 months. And I suggest a 50% regression. So we lost 6 or 8 months. Get my math right. So I want you to see this because this is where the numbers come from. That there's this regression, or, we can call it, if we get into the specifics, the degradation of the signal. Right? The regression is essentially a degradation of the signal. The signal is, I call it consciousness. Right? Stream. It's the collective, but you can call it spirit. Technically speaking, you could call it light or a light wave, right? You could call it a light wave. So it depends if you want to get technical or just for this is for our practical understanding. This is a more multidimensional perspective. In any case, we've lost time. Okay? We've lost time. So instead of being here in the year 2221, we are here in the year 2021. Right? And the second civilization has progressed 2521. So this is regressed, progress. This is where it would have been fair. Right? This is what would have been fair. So let's just I'm gonna tighten this timeline. Okay? Because last time we couldn't fit all of the information. So there's a point. So we did talk about, I suggested 1935 is when this started to go the other way. Right? And it had to do with ETs. Obviously it had to do with the ETs because this is technology. This is spirituality. This is knowledge. Science. When I say knowledge, science. It's big. Okay? Big stuff. Huge. And although the ETs did contact some people and share that information, the people in control got the bulk of it. And then I talked about, right, 1961, there's an agreement, right? This is with Kennedy. when he was around. And then so down here we get the moon mission, right? They get propulsion systems, back engineered technology. We get a very dilapidated moon system, moon mission, with people gonna land on the moon. So what happens in 1963? 63 is JFK. 64, that agreement is ratified. So there's a real working arrangement between a group of ETs, star nations, right, helping out Earth governments. There's a video on this, if you want to check it out. Earth governments and star nations, the 1964 agreement. So I spent a whole video on that. So that was 64. JFK's gone. There's the moon landings, right? There's the moon landings, and then you have the 60s, all of this in secret. And then what happens, now we're going to fast forward to 1984. There's a famous book called 1984. But what's been revealed and what's been revealed from classified documents is that in 1984, various agencies launched what is called Solar Warden. So what is Solar Warden? Solar Warden is space fleet of Earth. That's Solar Warden. Human space fleet, Solar Warden, and there's a number of good references on this and documentation. Space fleet, around, you could say maybe 1983, 1984, but we have our own space fleet, like Star Trek, 1984, which is about 20 years after this arrangement. All of it is secret because no one here knows anything. It's all secret, right? Secret. What happens in 1994? Well, 1994, I'm running out of room again. The CEO of Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, he releases a memoir. And he says, we have advanced technology working in our warehouse that will never see the light of day. This comes out as the CEO, I think his name was Smith. He comes out and says, we have this technology. 1994, which now supports the 1984 Solar Warden, which is already flying technology. It was already flying ships. We've got ships in 1984. So what year is it right now? 2021. And 1984 is when we had our ships. So let's do the math. That's 16 years and 21. 37 years, is that right? 37 years, right? That's 16 to 2 and 21, 37 years. So we've had a space fleet for 37 years. All secret, folks. Secret. The technology of Solar Warden is here. Is 26th century. That's these guys. These guys are here. They have a space fleet. The moon landings stopped in 72. We've had oil crisis, stock market crash, war crash, pandemics, everything, while these guys are going up. Right? So now these guys have the technology, they have the science, they have the understanding how you regress a timeline by just hitting us with pandemics, right? Events. And we've gone through some of the events. Let's see if I have them on my page here. Any type of crisis, catastrophe, terrorist attack, earthquakes, climate catastrophe, oil crash, stock market crash, pandemic, you name it. They're regressing the timeline. We're here, 2021. There's a second civilization here, right? And Solar Warden now is, we don't know. It's very advanced. If you look at Corey Good's work, he says, we already have interstellar travel, interplanetary, and solar system. They've been doing that without our knowledge, denying it to everybody here, right? If you talk about the space fleet, people don't believe you. They want evidence. So look at the timeline, right? They keep hitting this timeline and they propel themselves the other way. And now we're at this juncture. If they keep hitting us, we are going to go down here. Okay? They will kill the timeline. And they will take over the planet. And they will call this an extinction. Well, we don't know what happened to them. They just became extinct. Some say it was the pandemic. Some say it was the damage they did to the climate. We don't know. It's all a mystery. It's all a total accident. But it's not an accident because this is all purpose. This is all planned. This is all derived. The secrets, that's not an accident, right? These secrets are not accidents. Classified information. When you make something a national secret, if you say anything, it's called treason. But that's a law. That's the law, right? So any official who knows what I'm talking about, any official who knows about Solar Warden cannot tell you without committing an act of treason. So they will not tell you. I can tell you because I am not an official. I am not employed. I don't have the restriction of a national secret. I can tell you that. By the same token, many people won't believe what I say, or will have some kind of skepticism. So that's how you keep all this secret, because we can't prove it. We don't fully believe it. We don't fully understand it. I'm going to wait till there's a disclosure. But there's no disclosure, folks, as long as ETs and their technology and their presence and the agreements are a national secret, because any official disclosing a national secret could compromise the nation, and they will be charged with treason. They will be removed. They will disappear. You will never see them again. So, right? No official is that brave / dumb. If I was an official, and by telling you about Solar Warden, I would end up in a prison somewhere that nobody knows about, I would have a very hard time to do it. So that's how this is kept secret. That's why disclosure has never taken place. That's why disclosure is predicated on us, on the alternative theorists who get a little bit of information, who understand the bigger picture, right? Look how complicated this is. I've only cut it here, but I've only focused in the last 40, 50 years. Right? We do get some stuff, which I talked about. We do get some stuff, the technology, the smartphones, Wi-Fi, right? We do get some internet. We do get some of it. But you imagine, if we have internet, what do they have? If we have an iPhone, what do they have? If we got a jet that goes Mach 3 or Mach 5, what do they have? If we got an electric vehicle, what do they have? If we have a hybrid, what do they have? If we believe in God, what do they believe in? Because they're talking to God right here. This is God right here. Right? What do they have? If we watch movies on time travel, are they doing time travel? Are they going back here and making sure that we remain on this timeline? Now, I don't think our knowledge, the goal of the people who speak this knowledge is to bring us back to here. We're rightfully in the 23rd century. And that will be a much fairer fight. We have a much fairer fight. In this position, 500 years, we got no chance. Right? So that's the situation, folks. Mechanics of the timeline. The timeline can be damaged and regressed. And although the clock doesn't show that, right? The clock doesn't show that. The timelines are distinctly different. And they're differentiated by the technology and knowledge that these people have. And they're living on a much higher level. And they're traveling to different planets. And they're not telling us. And we're stuck here with pandemics and stock market crashes, economic gluts, depression, murder, war, violence, drugs, addiction, right? We're not thinking about traveling. How many people are thinking about traveling, interplanetary travel, if you're a heroin addict, right? Drug addiction. Keep these people down. And then they're going to go. Okay? So the fight, the reason why we want knowledge and we fight for knowledge is because this is where we're headed. And if you listen to the news, there's always a new extinction, right? Right? They're going to say the next extinction event. It'll be an asteroid. It'll be climate. Climate's going to kill everybody. Like, they're already programming us to become extinct. Instead of, if you want to go up, you should talk about this stuff. Talk about the space fleet. Talk about star travel. Talk about ETs. Talk about spirit. You talk about the big stuff, and you raise consciousness, raising consciousness. And we counteract that wave. These guys are going to say, you're going to die, there's going to be an asteroid, there's going to be an invasion, watch out for the terrorists, the flu virus is going to kill you, you're going to be eaten by a dog, right? Gun violence is up, drug addiction, fuck you. So we raise consciousness. We talk about the other stuff. And then if we can merge these two, we can become a 23rd century civilization, and then we'd be fighting a 26th century. We got a much better chance. Otherwise, we got no chance.